What's up guys, Rob here from Zephyr Wargames, bringing you an update to Mekk Knights, a personal favourite of mine. Mekk Knights got a significant boost in terms of support with Yugioh the Orcus Mekk Knight in Eternity Code. Just raises the deck's potential tenfold, gives it a significantly better first turn play. So without further ado, let's crack straight on into this. I'll breeze through some of the older stuff that you should hopefully know by now, and then I'll go into more detail in some of the newer choices. So we start with triple purple Nightfall. Hopefully by now you know all Mekk Knights special summon themselves to the same column if there's 2 cards in it. And then purple Nightfall, target a Mekk Knight, banish it, add a Mekk Knight. Double Indigo, so Indigo targets a Mekk Knight you control and moves it to another column once per turn. Unfortunately, if it was more than that, it would be busted. Red Moon and Yellow Star, so they both banish Mekk Knights from the grave to pop monsters in the same column with Red Moon and pop spells and traps in the same column with Yellow Star. Triple Blue Sky. Blue Sky searches Mekk Knight monsters up to the number of cards your opponent controls in the same column with different names. So if your opponent is not paying attention, they could potentially have something in the extra monster zone, something underneath it, and then a spell and trap set as well. So you could, if you were very lucky, it hasn't come up that often, but you could get three monster searches off of it, which is, yeah, we'll say that's good. Triple Yugioh the Orcus Mekk Knight, the absolutely amazing new card that supports Orcus Mekk Knight, anything World Legacy related. So if he's normal or specialed, you can send an Orcus or World Legacy card from your deck to grave. Then if there's 2 other cards in his column, he's treated as a tuner till the end of the turn. If you control no other monsters, you can special summon a World Legacy token, Machine, Dark, level 1, 0/0, to both player fields in defense, and each effect is a hard once per turn. So with this, there's a small-ish combo that gets you into Lib, because himself just instantly takes you into Lib. Which we'll get onto in a bit. Misplaced my World Legacy World Armor, which is a level 7 Dark Machine, 25 attack, 25 defense. And when a monster is flip summoned, you can special summon it from your hand. And then if he's normal or special, you can add any World Legacy card from your deck to your hand. That is the main effect. So you send him off of Yugioh, you then make Lib. Lib then can set you World Legacy Succession. Succession brings back World Armor. You get your search of another World Legacy card of your choosing. And then you've already got a potential Link 3 or whichever way you wanted to send your plays. So that's it for Mekk Knights, for the Mekk Knight monsters anyway. Double Nibiru, so it is still a primarily going second deck, but it does have the ability to go first. So Nibiru is potentially an easy side out option. And then triple of any hand trap of your choice. I've gone for Ash. As we all know, it's the most generic. It stops most things. So yeah, that was my choosing in Ash. That's it for the monsters. On to the spells. So I play triple World Legacy Memory. So Memory specials a Mekk Knight from hand or deck in defense, but returns it to the hand during the end phase. So if you combo this off with a purple Nightfall that you haven't used the effect that turn, this will attempt to go off in the end phase to return it to your hand. But if you chain purple Nightfall's effect to banish yourself and search, then purple Nightfall will just return to your field during your next standby phase. So obviously if you're doing this during your opponent's end phase, then you're going to get him back almost immediately. One World Legacy key. So on activation, target a banished Mekk Knight or World Legacy and add it to your hand. But the main effect is it negates opponent's trap effects that activate in the same column as a Mekk Knight monster. So you combo this with Indigo, move it around as you see fit to negate your opponent's traps. 1 World Legacy Succession. I've seen some people playing this at 2. I only have 1, so that's my reasoning. Target any monster in your grave, special summon it to a zone a link monster points to. You can't really go further wrong with that. Just summon anything you need to, even if it's another link monster, as long as you've properly summoned it. A few one-offs. So Pot of Avarice is off the ban list. Gets you back any Mekk Knights if you've had to search more often than you'd potentially like, and you've got all your searches left and nothing to search. And it says draw 2. Mind Control. It's only at 1, but I feel it's still good enough to play at 1. The same with Instant Fusion. You can't really not. You set it, gives you a column, you then activate it. It's a good bait to your opponent, if nothing else. And then Upstart, because it's Upstart. That is it for spells. Onto the traps, we play a grand total of 4. Triple Secret. So when Secret's activated, you target a level 5 or higher monster in your grave, special summon it. It's Call of the Haunted, and then negates any opponent's monster effects that activate in the same column as a Mekk Knight. Last trap is Whispers. So Whispers does the same as Key, but for spells. So you have your spell, trap, and monster negate, all that are searchable because they're all World Legacy related. So you can just search them off of Lib, and you can basically get to whatever you need to based on what your opponent has in the field. That's it for the main deck. Onto the extra deck. 1000 Eyes Restrict. The only Instant Fusion target. Again, if your opponent doesn't negate the Instant Fusion, you can just steal a monster. It's pretty good. Dingirsu. It's a free send. If nothing else, it will recycle your Girsu, or Mini Ding, whatever you want to call him. Obviously, to make this a little bit easier, or Girsu is also an Orcust card, and again, you make him with his token, turn the token into Link Spider, for example, and then you just get an easy Galatea into Ding. If nothing, it's a free send for something on the field. You can't really complain at that. On to the rest of the extra deck. So we have 1 Avramax. There's a small-ish combo that ends you on Lib with Morningstar, or you could go Lib, IP Masquerena, and then you just make this during main phase 2. It's a beat stick they can't get over. Boral Sword. Again, you say that's the thing. So you can easily make a high link monster because you can quite easily swarm the field. Blackluster Soldier. Play a lot of over level 7s, so you're more than likely going to get one of the effects off. A non-target banish is pretty good, or a second attack if you're going to feel you're going to get game next turn if your opponent's got no recovery. Spectrum Supreme. I've always played this because it's always sort of been a personal favourite because it tends to catch people off guard. So it can attack directly if it's the only card in its column, and then while it's in the extra monster zone and doesn't point to anything, it can't be destroyed or targeted by your opponent's card effects. And since Morningstar came out, it's a little bit easier to make, so you don't have to spend off 3 high-level Mekk Knights to get there. Unicorn, because it's Unicorn. And then double Morningstar. So on the summon, you can discard a Mekk Knight or World Legacy, add a World Legacy. So again, you can add any World Legacy card from your deck. So you can search all your spells, all your traps. It's pretty good. A newer card, so Lib, the World Key Blade Master. Any 2 monsters, she can only be special summoned while you have a World Legacy card in your grave. And then during the main phase, you can set any World Legacy spell or trap, but it can't be activated unless you have a World Legacy monster in your grave. 9 times out of 10 you will, because you'll have World Armor in there, because you will have sent it off Girsu. And then when she is sent to the grave as link material, non-target, shuffle into the deck. Gets rid of a problematic card if nothing else. Phoenix because it's generic back row removal. IP Masquerena because it's IP Masquerena. It gets you into a non-destroyable Avramax or any other link that you wish. Link Spider for Gearsu's token, or if you get Nibiru'd yourself, it's quite always handy just to get rid of that token if you need to use it for a link summon. And then Link Garibo, again, off of Gearsu's token, off of 1,000 Eyes if you need to free up your extra monster zone. Yeah, so that's the profile. I'll bring the combo that I briefly talked about probably out in another video once I actually get it down. But yeah, Gearsu, obviously the price is quite hyped at the minute, to say the least, because it's not out in the States. We're in Europe, we're still the only ones that have it. Don't pay the ridiculous prices is all I will say. It's only really relevant in 2 decks, Orcusts or Mekk Knights. Or if you really wanted to, you could play the World Legacy related deck, but I'm not sure how well that will go down. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and as always, happy dueling!